What is happening, beautiful people? It's your boy Ed from TechSource. Welcome to Seal of Approval edition of Setup Wars number 4, where we go over some of the best setups on the show that have been given this prestigious award. The Seal of Approval is a one-of-a-kind plaque that is given to a setup that meets all 5 of the criteria. This is basically what they get, except their name would be on the top, of course. So today we'll be going over Seal winners number 30 to 39. So if you guys haven't seen any of the previous videos, pause this one, go check those out. That way you're all caught up from Seal number 1 up until today, and then you guys can continue watching this. But as a reminder, a setup has to meet all 5 criteria in order to be eligible for the Seal of Approval. We got number 1, cable management, of course. Personality, the setup's gotta have some personality. Function and form, the execution has to be flawless, and of course, most importantly, the unique factor. So if a setup meets all 5 of the criteria, then they're eligible. Keyword here is eligible in receiving the Seal of Approval. It's not guaranteed, okay? One thing to note here is that this is my show, right? Like I created it, I created the Seal of Approval, so it's all based off of my personal preference. Not everyone out there is gonna have the exact same opinion as I do, right? Everyone's different. But anyways, I just wanted to point that out there because some people don't seem to understand the concept of giving a setup a Seal of Approval. But yeah, anyways, with that said, sit back and relax because you know what time it is. If you could put me in your pocket and get advice every time you're about to buy stuff, would you do it? Well, here's something even better. Lustre is a free product research assistant that automatically compares all the products and prices for you so you can always get the best product for your money. Let's say you're shopping around for a gaming mouse, but you don't know which one to buy. Well, Lustre gives you all the information you need to make the best choice. You can see why they chose the products they did by checking the reviews and ratings from trusted sources like Wirecutter, Reddit, and even other YouTubers. You can even keep an eye out for deals on actually great products. So if you don't want to waste money on crappy products ever again, make sure to download Lustre for free using my link down below. It's super easy and it helps out the channel a ton. So I do want to start off the episode by going over a setup I accidentally skipped on the last video, which is insane to me because Willys Setup was hands down the most inspiring setup of all 2020. In fact, that video has gone viral, bringing in over 3 million views, making this the 2nd most watched episode of Setup Wars. What made Willys Setup so mind-blowing is that it was built inside of a closet, a master closet. And the only way to get access to it is by going through the secret bookshelf they installed where the door was. But get this, there's even a secret hidden entrance. You have to pull on one of the books in order for the door to unlock. That is insane. Inside the secret room was an oasis, a completely custom-made gaming den built by Willem and his dad that features 5 separate gaming setups. There are 4 separate PC gaming setups that run alongside the wall, including his dad's in the center and a guest station in the corner. They have a freaking setup just for guests so that his friends can play together with them when they come over. They also have a really nice entertainment setup in the center for kicking back and gaming on their consoles or watching content. And get this, there's an HD PC here as well that's powering this setup. So in total, there are 6 PC setups in this entire room. All the lights you see in this room are actually synced together on an app, so it's conveniently controlled. To put it simple, I have not seen anything like this in my life, and it was very easy to award Willem and his dad the 28th Seal of Approval. Oh man, I don't even know where to start with Sarah's playground. This setup was something else, let me tell you. It wasn't even the actual setup that caught my attention, but how she built this entire gaming room out of old pallets and fruit boxes. I had no idea you can create something that looks this good out of used crates. That's insane. And the fact that she used it everywhere in the room, from the setup to the entertainment area and even the coffee table. Absolutely love the consistency and the dedication here. Another thing I absolutely loved about the setup is the lighting. Man, the lighting was on point. The way she combined 2 of my favorite colors in a way to highlight different areas of the room without being too distracting was, in my opinion, just flawless. The creativity and dedication that went into her playground was enough to secure the 31st Seal of Approval. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that what really impressed us from Bazas Setup submission was his occupation. This man was a criminal investigator from Dubai who also happened to own a badass man cave. I could just imagine this guy putting people behind bars during the day and coming back home to clap cheeks on Warzone. It's the perfect combo. I've seen my fair share of man caves on the show, but what separated his from the rest was the execution. To start off, I just love how he installed RGB strips in the floor and hooked up a monitor underneath his desk to achieve this really cool sci-fi display built in the desk. You know, when I first saw that, I immediately thought of Bruno's setup from episode 201, which still remains my favorite setup of all time. I actually didn't notice this at first, but looking at the setup now, it's obvious that he spray painted his Nanoleaf panels in black to get this smoky look. It actually looks pretty good, especially when turned off. Of course, we can't forget about the insane amount of effort he put into creating actual scenes from the props and collectibles that he owns. And now it all makes sense, you guys. He's a criminal investigator, so I guess he was using his experience to create crime scenes of some of his favorite TV shows. I was too much of a peanut brain to not get that at the time. But I gotta say, the icing on the cake for me was the Iron Man heart integration of his entire setup. Check this out.
Alexa, use Iron Man heart to turn on my setup.
All devices in your setup are connected by Iron Man heart. Enjoy your time.
How badass is that? Damn. I think if you look up the definition of a perfect setup, you would probably see RC setup in there as one of the examples. This setup was probably one of the easiest ones to award the seal of approval because he easily checked off all the boxes, and to put it simply, there was no reason not to give him the seal. I mean, everything was done in such precision that it was just satisfying to look at. You have to really look closely and appreciate all the little details to understand the mind that was behind this setup. I mean, just look at how the pink PS4 controller is perfectly parallel to the grain on the wooden tabletop. Like, am I overreacting here? I feel like I'm seeing something others aren't. If that isn't enough to persuade you, take a look at this shot of his peripherals. There's a lot going on here, so let me break it down and show you guys what I'm talking about. Look at the way he routed the keyboard cable alongside the mouse pad. He used a custom coiled cable from the mouse pad. He replaced the original mousepad cable with a coil cable so that he can pass through the keyboard cable through it. That is genius. This guy is the Leonardo da Vinci of setups. You know, the way he transforms science into a work of art. It is beautiful, to say the least. I mean, look at how perfect the symmetry is, for God's sake. Sadly, a lot of people don't see most of that on the surface, but not me. I see everything, and I truly do appreciate all the hard work and attention to detail that went into this masterpiece, and that is why I gave RC the 33rd seal of approval. Muckman. Oh boy, where to begin with this one? This setup was so different from the rest of the submissions because the setup itself is an actual PC, a custom water-cooled PC to be exact, but it's much more than that. I've seen a lot of epic PC desks in my life, and honestly, they all look the same to me. But this one in particular stood out to me because of the desk design itself. Everything was completely custom made. Also, when you build a PC inside a desk, the keyboard, the mouse, and even the mouse pad always gets in the way and blocks off the beautiful view underneath. But Muckman found a way around that as he designed a dedicated lip for the peripherals and his microphone. But the way he did that and integrated RGB lighting inside and all around the frame was what really caught my attention. I remember like it was yesterday. I was scrolling through the folder, looking through the pictures, and I was at the halfway point when I realized this guy is definitely getting the seal of approval. And then I found out even more cool stuff about the desk later on, like this custom projector on the bottom and the way he turns on his entire setup by swiping his phone over an NFC chip. My jaw was literally open for like a minute, I'm not even lying. I recently found out he actually moved to a new place, so he had to take apart this masterpiece and start over. So Muckman, if you're watching this video, I cannot wait to see your new setup, man. Marjan Setup is actually one of my more recent favorite setups from the show. He's a really good guy, and he's always been an active member of the server. After he emailed me to claim the seal, he slowly became a good buddy of mine. So I guess you can say this setup has a special place in my heart. One of the things that really drew me to this setup originally was the complexity and the simplicity of the setup. I know that sounds very contradictory, but there's a lot going on in the setup when you break down each piece of gear. But at the same time, he has created this beautiful synergy between everything. Like how he's able to transition from music production to streaming, or how he's able to change up the theme of the setup straight from his phone. He was able to accomplish all of this on a sit and stand desk with exceptional cable management, and that is not easy to do. The fact that he was able to build a setup that looks amazing with or without lights is why he took home the 35th seal of approval. I've been following him on IG for a while now, and I just want to point out that the setup looks even more badass with my new Topo black mouse pad. Excellent choice, Marjan, and congrats again on the seal of approval. I'll never forget that Brandon entered Setup Wars 3 times in total before he finally got the seal. This man was not giving up without a fight. It's crazy. When you want something so bad, you do everything in your power to obtain it. I'm the exact same way. In Brandon's case, it inspired him to become more creative, and honestly, I loved the direction of his new setup. It just looks more of a complete setup to me with both function and form. I was actually more impressed with the secondary setup and how he finally took advantage of the extra space on the other wall. But he also took a creative approach with the VR setup by installing a desk that can collapse to make room for VR gaming. This is how you take an already badass setup and perfect it. You know, it's not every day that you come across a beautiful triple monitor setup with a giant RGB infinity mirror on the ceiling. This was another one of those perfected setups that checked all the boxes for me. There were also a lot of custom work that went into this room, you know, from the wall of hexagon panels surrounding his logo in the middle to the actual desk itself, and even the RGB lighting integrated in the floor. I love the simplicity, but also the execution. It wasn't super over the top, but very impressive at the same time. You know, this is one of those setups that made a statement where less is more. All right, so you guys might be wondering why this setup is on the list. Episode 243 was one of the most controversial episodes of Setup Wars, and it had everyone arguing in the comment section. Hell, some of you even came after me with pitchforks, and I get it. Believe me, I get it. How can a setup so clean, so simple, take home a seal of approval? Where is the personality in this, you might ask? Well, you're looking at it. This is it. The guy is a farmer. What personality are you talking about? All jokes aside, I've seen a good amount of clean and minimalistic setups in my life, but Dustin's setup is seriously on another level. If you're going with a super clean and minimalistic setup, you have to go the extra mile. It's all or nothing, literally. The fact that he painted his peripherals to match the colors of the setup, and he went with a closed side panel for the PC with not a single cable inside tells you how serious he is about the theme. So yeah, adding anything extra to the setup would defeat the purpose of the minimal theme. I mean shit, he has no mouse pad for God's sake. What more can you ask from this guy? So would I go back in time and change my mind about the seal? Absolutely not. This is a seal-worthy setup regardless if you can see it or not. Congrats again, Dustin. Enjoy the seal, my guy. Coming in at number 39 is Zoltan's amazing triple monitor setup from episode 251. I think a lot of people didn't like his collection of Funko Pops on the walls because they said that it was too distracting and unorganized. Really? How else are you going to organize hundreds and hundreds of Funko Pops in the same room? If you think you can do better, send in your setup submission with hundreds of Funko Pops and I'll give you the seal. How about that? But it wasn't the Funko Pop collection that got me moist. It was the custom-made desk with beautiful synergy between all three setups. I just love how the desk was designed with slits and cutouts for all the cables across all three setups. The lighting was also on point, and I just love how you can easily hop on over to the racing sim setup in the middle, all while getting slapped right in your eardrums from the amazing surround sound experience in the room. Job well done. This leads us to our final seal of the episode and the most recent setup to receive it. CJP, aka Cyber Junk Project from episode 261. If you're watching this video, then you probably have seen that episode already, but to recap for those who haven't, CJP built this incredible, mesmerizing, jaw-dropping, gorgeous setup that can transform. He built an automatic slidable door that can open and close, blocking up the sunlight behind the setup, which is one of the most creative designs I have seen for blinds ever. He has created something that provides both function and form because it blends in perfectly with the setup, and the fact that he was able to do all this on a tight budget is what secured him his second seal of approval. It took CJP 7 months total to complete the setup, so you bet your ass there was a lot of work that went into it. So if you guys want to break down on how exactly he put everything together, definitely check out the episode. It is a must see. As a reminder, you guys can always pick up a cheap Windows CD key for less than $15. Just click on my link below and use the code TS20 for an extra 20% off. Once you get your CD key, just visit the activation settings in Windows and change your product key. It's that simple. So yeah, those are the most recent 10 setups, well 11 if you include Willem, to receive the seal of approval on Setup Wars. If you guys enjoyed the video and can't wait to see the next 10 seal of approvals, let me know by dropping a like, and let me know in the comment section which of these 11 setups was your absolute favorite and why. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you faces, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.